Welcome to the Trading Lounge, and here we're looking at the S&P 500, and you can see here that there's a beginning, a middle, and an end to a trend. And we can see that this is the beginning of this trend here, and it's strong, isn't it? It's got nice big moves up here, nice big third wave up here, and now we're sort of coming to the end. You can see that it's sort of got overlapping wave structures, and it's struggling somewhat. So we are close to a top of a third wave here. This little move over the weekend on Friday here is also corrective as well, bullish corrective. So we should see further upside in the US indices here, and the same with the Australian indices as well. But just pointing out that it is slowing down, so we can expect a corrective move here. And we've also had the March contracts rolling over as well, so that's where we're seeing all the volume coming into the market. So when we have a look at the the Australian market here, the ASX 200, the benchmark, we can see that we've got this volume here, and yes, we do have a good move to represent that amount of volume as well. But those contracts are being rolled over. Also, too, when we can see that, you can see we've got a strong trend here as well, but then we can see that it's sort of, overlapping here as such as well. So, there's likely to be more of that type of price action as well. When we see that on, the weekly chart here, we can see that it's moving really nicely through here, but here it's sort of struggling a bit, isn't it? So just sort of be mindful that we are at the top end of a trend. Even if we do move up further, just sort of be aware of that. And the volume contracts too, turning over the US markets, are the same as well. So if we have a look at say the Dow Transports, or let me just find those here. We can see that this will be the same for the Dow as well. We can see that we've got excessive volume here, but not a great move as such here, there. And the Dow Jones would be the same as well. So just pointing out that it's just the rollover of that contracts and futures contracts and the open interest in the market there. So it always gets choppy around those rollover dates. So day traders need to be really aware of that, and it's probably best to stand aside in some cases. So yes, that's the S&P 500. So I'm not sure if we're looking for the top of the third here, but that could be it there. But when we see this corrective pattern in here, it does allow for one more little move up to the 1565 before we see the wave 4 roll over, and the same for the Dow as well. So just using a 30-minute chart here for the Dow to have a look at this a bit closer. So we have been tracking this little wave 3 here, little wave 4 here, up for 1, back for 2 here. Then 5 little waves here, up for the third wave, the possible 4th here, and the 5th here to get the 3rd here, and that will be the same for the S&P 500. And we've got that 3-wave price action there, so that tells us that it is corrective, and we should be making a new high here. So this is the Dow Jones working across the 4,500, and we expect a correction across the 14,500 rather. Because of the 500, it's a large number. If people are buying and selling, they would be doing it, at that number. It's the same for the Australian market as well. This is a 1-hour chart. The move that we had down the other day through here, I thought we might be getting an impulse wave to the downside, a 5-wave structure, but it doesn't count like that. It counts more as a ABC, but also a 5-wave structure. So if you look at this is the CFD, but on the cash, you can see that we've got a 5-wave move to here, then a corrective move, and then another 5 waves here. So it's basically a 5-3-5 structure, a zigzag. So once again, we should see a new high over here. This move up through here, because we've got an A and a B and a C here, and a 3-wave structure, it's kind of helpful because it tells us that it is corrective. But the other side of the fence is that this ABC here can just be a larger A wave and then we get an A and a B and a C here for a B wave, and then we get 5 waves as a C wave coming down through here, and then it finishes. So it's a larger A, B and C here, and then we move up from there. So we may have this move down here, and that will come down in terms of the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4 and 5. So we need to be a little bit careful of that. If it's just going to be this A and this B and this C here, then we'll look for 5 waves up, which would be the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, which the wave 4 here will be a little A, B and C across here. So you can wait for 3 swings across here, then find support, then expect another move up. So it would be, in that case, it would be the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4 and the 5 making a new high here. Then we would have an A and a B and a C here, and then we would be going further up from that point there. So but this 4th wave here, that will be likely in 3 waves at least, and then finding support. So, you know, giving it a chance to unfold, and then look to scale in, say, on the 5120 there. If that's not the case, then we'll be looking at this 5-wave structure to the downside through here. But even though the Dow was down overnight, as we just had a look here, this is the US 30 again, because we've got that 3-wave structure there, we will be making a new high here. So as long as this, just keep an eye on this, as long as it stays above the 14,500 from here, then it's pretty safe that the Australian market will be moving up as well. Just going to have a look at the currencies now, and this is the US dollar here, and as mentioned all through last week, we'd been also tracking this choppy price action up through here in sort of overlapping wave structures as an ending diagonal triangle, and looking for a top, and it came in pretty much on cue there. So we'll be looking for an A and a B and a C here. So while the US dollar is sort of, well, edging down in a particular zigzag style, it will give support to the commodities and of course other markets as well. So, you know, there'd be a US BHP finding support at 72, and that would relate to the Australian BHP at 35, and that's where we felt that the support would be for those. So they've got a good chance to bounce up from where they are now, based on a lower US dollar. Yeah, and you know, also mentioned with iron ore is a big thing as well, and you know, it's basically doing 3 swings across $150 a ton, and that volume for that ABC correction across the 150, the medium level, is on lower volume as well. The orders from China have been lower each month, so it does give sort of weight for a move up in those in the materials sector, while this is pulling back through here. Yeah, so look, this is what we'll be looking for in the US dollar, an A wave and a B wave and a C wave down to here further. Then we'll see further upside from that. So the move up for BHPs in the materials sector is a little bit short-lived, but it will move from those, you know, those support lines, 72 on the US BHP and 35 on the local there. So. Right, the euro will be doing the mirror opposite to this A, B, and C here. So it will be doing that to the upside. So when we look at the euro here, we're looking at all of this down here as that this is a daily chart. We're looking at this as an impulse wave to the downside as wave 1, and as mentioned before as well, is that once wave 2's finished here, I've just put wave 2 at this head and shoulder sort of thing here, but we'll track this on the way up through here. But so just take that with a pinch of salt. But it's essentially a 3-wave structure, an ABC up through here. And if that is the case, and the market does turn, once it's completed that three-wave structure and starts to turn down here, we could have quite a good shorting position trade, a longer-term trade, because we'll be moving into a third wave then, and I think that's quite exciting. So we'll tune in, very much around this little area here, but just breaking that down a little bit. This is what we're looking for here. Basically the A, the B, and the C. The A wave can be a little bit tricky because there's 12 different types of corrections, and the A wave here can be in 3 waves, or it can be in 5 waves. So we just need to allow that to unfold. So at the moment up here, we've got sort of 3 waves, so that could count as 1, 2, and 3, or an A and a B and a C coming back up to the 4th wave, 1 lesser degree there. But I think that we may get 5 waves in through here. So, but either way, if we get 5 waves up there, then we're going to get 3 waves back, because a B wave's always is always in 3 waves, so we can expect an A, B, C back. And the C wave up here would also be in 5 waves as well, and that would have some correlation to, or quality to, the A wave in terms of length and time and so forth. So so we just really need to allow this to play out and see how far it goes up here. But counting the waves up here will give us a more accurate measurement of what we've got here. So, but look, not just yet, but in due course, once that wave 2's in play, then we can start working to the downside again through here. And as we were looking for a trend to the upside in the indices and so forth, we can see that the same with the downtrend as well. We can see that the beginning of the trend, the middle of the trend is quite sort of strong and powerful. In the end, it's obviously, you can see that it's slowing down. And now we're seeing the bounce from that. So that's kind of what we're looking for in the US indices, that as they're moving up but slowing down, but we haven't really seen the turn in them yet, but we will in due course. But we can just pick up that that sort of sentiment with that. The Australian dollar is pretty much on track as well. So we've been tracking the A wave up, as you know, a bit crowded in here, but the A wave up, then the B wave in 3 waves, and we're looking for the C wave to move up higher as well. So we're pretty much close to the target there as well. A C wave is in 5 waves, so we're looking, if we break that down and have a bit of a look at that, this C wave here. So, whoops-a-daisy. So this C wave's in 5 waves, and we can see there's a couple of interesting things here. Is that we've got a nice clean 5-wave count here for wave 1, and a corrective wave for wave 2, and then wave 3 to the upside. So wave 3 to the upside will be 1, 2, 3, nice strong third wave in the middle, because it's a third of the third, because we're in the third wave here, but also the third wave within the third wave. So it moves strong, a bit like this little guy in here. But look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave here. So we'd consider this the 4th wave back here, and the 5th wave moving up through here. So what we can see here is that it's quite a good C wave as a corrective rally, because the wave 1 here is sort of the longest. Then this one here is a little bit shorter. And then that means that the 5th wave here, is going to be shorter than the 3rd wave in this case here. So if we look at this in here, also too, we we're at 104, and you can see what happens at a whole number such as 103 here. So we get the arrival, the reaction, same as here. We get the arrival, the reaction, looking for support, and then we get the first high above the level. So in this case, the wave 1 was strong here, so we went quite a way up to the top of subgroup 1, micro group 1 rather, to the 30 there. So that's what we're looking for here as well. So we'll be able to count 5 waves up through in that little section there, which we can do on the 15-minute chart. The 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5 here. But I'm just wondering if that's actually the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5 there. It could be 4 and a 5. But I guess what I'm pointing out here is that it is also slowing down too, and it will slow down into here. So allow this to do its thing up through here, and then it will fold out through here, at least in 3 waves here. If it finds support after that, after 3-wave swing, then fine, we can go along from there. But you will be looking into a correction now, and also looking to the top of the 5th wave, which makes the C wave complete there as well. So just be aware of that. So we could be looking for short positions there as well very shortly. We'll put those into the chart there. Alrighty, well that's it for the Monday. So there's a couple of important things here, as I mentioned, is that we're sort of looking for the US markets to get a bit toppy, just not quite there yet. They should edge up a little bit more. We've had all the March contracts roll over in the S&P 500 and so forth, and our local market as well. So we've seen those extreme volumes there. So those volumes will be rollovers and all sorts of things happening. So we just need to allow that to settle, and then we'll pick up the thread again. So it's best to less is more in terms of position sizing. So just be a little bit careful there. Alrighty, that's it. So good morning and good luck.